Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Do Not Touch by Misomo because it is Momo's birthday and therefore I am taking one for the team. I cannot explain to you how scared I am to actually check out this song because I've had people telling me over and over again that I have to check out some Misomo releases and I've been putting it off, partly because I know that I'm going to get thoroughly bias wrecked from all sides on this one. Not only does this include one of my biases, I don't know what to do with Sana, but I feel like record isn't a strong enough term for her. I think I'm just in denial about the whole thing. And then Momo continues to come for me. I've realized in all of my copious re-listenings to With Youth that all of the parts where I have to stop everything that I'm doing and just listen are Momo's parts. And Momo's like the one where people are like, you're not ready for her in the Misomo releases. So that just puts me on edge. But also this is a Japanese release and those are notoriously an absolute pain to deal with. As always, I'm going to listen to the song first with the lyric video so I can just listen to it, analyze it, see the lyrics and what they're talking about, and then we will check out the music video. That being said, we're gonna have to get into this. I'm legitimately scared, but it's Momo's birthday, so sacrifices have to be made. This isn't about me. This is about appreciating the talent before us and hopefully making it out sane. Who knows though? I'm also just partly scared because I know we're not going cutesy with this release. That's not the vibe that I'm getting. I want us to go in the direction of what is love for the sake of my own sanity, but I feel like we're gonna go more Moonlight Sunrise, if not even more intense. Are we going into Killing Me Good territory? Their solos tend to come for me, and I'm not ready. I'm stalling, okay? I'm legitimately not ready for what is about to happen to me. Fine, let's just do it. Okay, guitar. Some synths coming in. That was Sana? That little flip up into the falsetto? This guitar with all this reverb on it? Okay, it's fine. I'm fine. That almost like violin string sound. Oh, the layered vocals too. No, Momo, I know it's your birthday. I'm not ready for you. I'm like, I just noticed how much I was trying to run away from my computer. Like, that'll help. The like vocal run, did Mina just whisper touch at me? Like, what is this instrumentation choice too? It's minimal. It has like the guitar like going through it, and then this like string scraping noise that like shouldn't work, but somehow it does, especially with all this imagery that they have. I'm pretty sure the album is called Masterpiece and there's museum imagery in a lot of the promotional stuff. Even the pictures here look like they're like painted on canvas. So having the Masterpiece painting and then having something, I said like a violin, it sounds more like a orchestral instrument, like a string instrument like that, where you have that scraping on the strings that you get if you like run along the string instead of strumming them. I'm saying that in guitar terms because that's how I think of it. If you run a pick along the string, it's gonna make that noise, especially on an electric guitar. So it's adding in those orchestral vibes. I don't know exactly what instrument they're playing that sound on, but it has this eerie off-kilter sound to it, which I feel like fits with this vocal melody that they're doing, like that flip up, right? They have that kind of off-kilter cadence to the way that they're delivering it. Beautiful, gorgeous run that Mina did on the words, which is really interesting. Elongating that word specifically, saying words and you're elongating a singular word and really giving it a bunch of space. All right, Momo, you can, fine. It's your birthday. You're allowed to come for me, I guess. I feel like we're getting into the chorus. I stopped functioning. I'm sorry. You gave me rapper Momo, the little vocal fry that she's putting in at certain parts of her voice, in a lower register. I'm gonna need several minutes. We're not even a minute in. I knew this was gonna wreck me. I knew it was gonna own my soul. I just didn't think it was gonna do it this efficiently. I thought I'd be able to get through a good chunk of it. I'm like, oh, then we can debrief and we can be excited because it's gonna be really good. I didn't expect to be every person who has started singing. I'm just like, why are you doing something gorgeous and wonderful and different? Which is the point. I know that's why we're having the subunit. I didn't read any of the lyrics that Momo was saying. I just, honestly, my brain turned off. I feel like you just specifically being like, do not touch and then control your impulses. Look, I get it. I understand. I understand the concept that we're going for here. And I understand that I'm falling right into your trap. I don't need you to call me out. Okay? Thank you. You didn't warn me thoroughly enough. Okay, first off, I love that we got a little more of a beat and more of an electronic sound in the chorus is like a contrast to the instrumentation that we've heard before that. I love that we got that vocal run as part of the chorus too, what I'm assuming is the chorus. I just said don't call me out though, and I feel like you did. I understand. I get that I am here just as an observer on the other side of the planet. I don't need you to remind me that I am stuck watching a screen instead of actually interacting with you. I get it. I understand. But I love that being, I don't know, there's a confidence there. I love the mixing that with the concept of the museum and artwork, because I feel like because they're K-pop stars, they make pop music, and the kind of progression that Twice has had of this very bubblegum pop girl group into a more mature sound that I'm sure lots of people have been like, oh, they just make pop music, right? They make girl group pop music. What's the big deal? And you know what? A lot of their songs are just fun, and that's fine. I've found a lot of other deeper meanings in their B-sides and with their more current music. They're definitely digging into some of those concepts. I have a huge gap in the middle that I still have to catch up on. They don't just make pop music, but you know what? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just make fun songs that are poppy and fun and cute with catchy choreo and choruses that are just there to make you happy and enjoy it, and they're supposed to entertain you for a little while, and that's totally fine. But I'm sure that lots of times they have had people shrug them off, especially since Momo is, I think of her mostly as a dancer. Sana, she has like a very specific vocal tone in a lot of the songs, and it's this very like cutesy, forward placing, bright sound, right? A lot of the really cutesy parts of like sha sha sha, those are Sana's parts because her voice fits so well with those. Mina has a gorgeous voice, but it isn't like this traditional poppy sound. Like, it's very light, it's airy, it's breathy, it has a gorgeous tone, and she owns a bridge and like a ballad, right? Her voice just fits into that so well, and I think that she can emote emotions so well, but it doesn't have the same poppy impact as some of the other voices in the group. So I feel like in a lot of their like really poppy cutesy songs, like, yes, Sana has moments where she can shine through because her voice suits like those moments, but I don't feel like she was ever a focal point to a lot of those earlier things. So I'm sure that having this group, they're not the main people that kind of fit into that poppy sound, or that you would immediately think of as the really poppy, cutesy vocals of Twice, right? And that's not saying anything about like her talent. Sana, every time I hear her sing something, she constantly surprises me with the chameleon effect that she has with her voice. Even in this song, she's had a few different tones in her voice. Mina has such a gorgeous voice. Nothing brings me to tears faster than Mina on a bridge. And Momo, again, some of my absolute favorite parts of their songs are Momo's parts, and seeing her do choreo, like we checked out her performance video, she's fantastic. She's wonderfully talented. I'm not here to discredit any of them, but I feel like there's definitely a different dynamic to putting these three together than some of the other members. If you were going to put together 3 of the really hard-hitting vocals of Twice. I feel like this would not be the lineup, and they're together because they're Japanese line, they're doing like Japanese releases, but them doing a song that is about you can't touch me, I'm like a piece of artwork in a museum, there's this distance between us, I think is really pulling on them proving themselves. And like I said at the beginning, I'm like, we're not even a minute in and they've all come forward and done something interesting and new with their voices. This is them flexing and proving themselves, but with this mature dignity to it as well, right? Like the connection with a museum is a piece of artwork, and I feel like that contrasts a lot with probably them being doubted a lot of the time, right? Even within Twice's success, a lot of people I'm sure have discredited them for saying, oh, they just write pop music, they're just K-pop stars, what could they possibly do in terms of art and impacting people, right? Longevity, but they've proven themselves enough. They're definitely one of the legends in K-pop history, right? So I think that the concept mixed with not just the visual side of it, again, I haven't watched the music video yet, so I don't know fully how they're going to expand on that, but like the idea of artwork and like a masterpiece and museums and these places of seen as heightened culture mixed with K-pop and the kind of maturity that they're bringing forward with this release, and also like going into the chorus of this very electronic sound, I just think is really interesting all around. I don't know if I connected a thought all together. I don't know if I closed the loop where I started with that, but I hope I put together a good enough point that you understand where I'm coming from. I also just needed a breather before we get into the second part. Okay, fine. I need Momo to leave me alone.
Come to me first. Lipstick 더러워. 그런 너 it's a must. 나 지금 뭐야 lava. It's great. Yeah. Let's wait. Yeah. 서도 I'm loving my suit. make me know I'm a pretty sure. 貴重なほどに貴重なものだと You'll find out. Soon. 夜は遠くない。抜け出したじゃない。割り切らその瞬間。来るその時は。
Ooh, okay. I love the passing off there, like them at the beginning of the song having these very isolated parts where they're getting their lines, each person's taking their turn, all getting to shine through. And then the second part, it's about bringing them together and being like more of a cohesive whole. Also, I didn't know I was getting rapper Momo through this whole thing. Hi, hello. I bias rappers consistently. You should just, if you want to know who my bias line is going to be in a group, just tell me who the rap line is. And that's going to be it. Maybe with a few others sprinkled in. But I'm going to claim the rappers. And I need her to stop. She had some great moments. I said her first verse that she did, that she was putting these little like vocal fry moments to like accent certain words. And this one, she's like elongating certain parts of them, which I love because it has this like unhurried feeling to it, right? Because the whole point is like there's this distance between us, you can't touch, you're gonna have to like control yourself, like you're gonna have to wait, like sorry, no admission, right? So elongating certain parts of the words just adds this more languid feeling to the rap because it's a faster delivery, right? And then she's elongating certain parts that are like, I'm not rushing, I'm just following the flow of what I'm delivering, right? So it's a really interesting way of just accenting certain parts of it, like a contrast to what she was doing before. I am not going to survive this music video because the confidence is emanating strongly just from a lyrical side. I'm constantly being reminded that there are visuals to go along with said lyrics and performance. I've seen that there's like a dance practice, which tells me that there's choreo involved, which means that Momo is not only going to be rapping at me, she's going to be dancing at me. And I'm not a strong enough warrior for that. You know what I mean? It's fine. We're fine. We're good. Love the harmony. Okay, not to interrupt in the chorus, but I love how they approach these flip-ups in so many different ways. Mina does it in this, there's this very clear contrast between her head voice and this falsetto. Momo has this cry in it. She's putting in a little bit more tension into her voice, so you get almost residue to that flip-up that you're like hearing like the tension and release of it. Like she's tightening and then releasing as she flips up. The contrast is just so interesting to me, like all of them kind of approaching the technique in a different way. I'm gonna listen to Sana and see what she's doing with it. Beautiful to get to hear Sana do that vocal run. Oh no, you give me a bunch of bass. I'm sorry. You gave me like a bridge with like bass, and then Mina was getting very close to a rap cadence, and he did not do that to me. Also, it seems like Sana's almost like, when she flips up, she's almost doing like this voiced onset that she's using to bounce up, which is a very Broadway musical way of doing it, where you hum into flipping up. It's what it feels like. She's using that momentum from putting in a little bit of a voiced kind of sound right before she flips up, which is like interesting. It's like they're all kind of approaching the same vocal melody and using different techniques that fit with their own style and their own voices and what they're comfortable with. Am I using that a little bit to distract myself from what's happening? Yes, maybe. It's fine. It's fine. Cool, like synths in the side too. Ooh, I heard that ad lib. I love that falling layered vocal. Ooh, I like the fade out of all the synths. Again, like a wonderful contrast with the beginning where it had more of a, I don't know, isolated sound with like a guitar, and then it evolving into all of these like synths and stuff. But there was one part with Sana's part, you can hear it where there's like an N where she says Toki, I think it is. So like she flips up on that one, but she's using the N from the previous one as her like voice onset to like, she elongates that nasal as almost like a hum into being able to flip up, I think. Beautifully. Yeah. Right, that the no toki. So she's like carrying that nasal sound over across the vowel and then using that to flip up, hum up into that. So she can hit that higher note. She can find the note through that like hum of the note. It's a cool contrast. It's a cool contrast between all of them, like different, not only in terms of the tone that they're delivering, right? Because naturally they have very different sounding voices, which I think is just really cool to hear all of these voices together. Momo and Sana have very distinct voices. I feel like they were really easy for me to pick out earlier on. And Mina has such a contrasting voice to so many of the other members in Twice, let alone with Momo and Sana, right? They have very bright forward sounding and a lot of closure in their vocal cords, right? Especially with Momo, she tends to play around a lot more with the tension in her voice and the way that she releases it, that Mina having this very airy, loose, floaty voice contrasts so well that having them all together is really interesting because their voices are so distinct from each other, and yet they're all sounding wonderful together. They're blending really well together, what we get with these layered vocals and harmonies that they're putting in, but then they're also being very distinct in their own individual parts, and even down to the way that they're like approaching the techniques that they're using to do the same lines. I think I always find that really interesting, which is why whenever I get a song where the same person does the pre-chorus or the chorus, I get a little bit disappointed. I know that they're given that part because they're really good at it. It sounds really wonderful. And there's also sometimes just time constraints, right? What can you record in the studio? It's a lot easier to get one person to do the same part over and over again and then just use those takes than to get different people recording those parts. So I understand that sometimes there's logistical reasons behind it, or it's just like, we're going to give this person the chorus for this song, we'll give someone else a chorus later on. But I always like to hear different voices approaching the same thing and getting to see how they approach it differently or how they shift the way that they would do their vocals so that they meet in this middle zone between the different voices where they're all shifting towards each other's techniques so that it blends over the whole song. Like it's very interesting to me to get to see that, and it's a good distraction because I need that with everything that's going on. I understand the basics, I think, of lyrics of I'm untouchable. There's a barrier between me and you. I am the artwork displayed on the wall, the masterpiece, and you are but an observer passing by. It's a wonderful concept, as I hope I explained okay earlier on. I am not ready for the visual, if that's what we're doing, because I have seen a few different things of promotional stuff, and I'm not ready. And I don't know what to do with Momo now. Like I was always, Momo, Wrecker, absolutely. Now I don't know. I feel like every time I do anything that is either a solo or a unit, I always feel like I have to rearrange things. Obviously, love all of the members. Twice. That is always the best option. Whenever one of the members is missing, I'm upset because I'm like, it's wrong. It feels wrong. But I'd like to at least pretend that I have some kind of structure within the chaos of how I feel. Just as like a comfort, like a security blanket. And now I don't know what to do with Momo. And it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse with the visual. It's fine. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna jump in. It's her birthday, so we have to do it. Even just the opening scene of this, just like loading up the video, I was like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. It's fine. We're fine. It's totally, completely fine. Nope, it's not. Oh God, are we gonna get anything that's interpretive dance-esque? Because I can't. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pick my chin up off the floor. Oh. Whoa, whoa. I needed like a whole minute to process what Sana looked like. And then you went to look, Mina, the hat is cool. I like the holes in it with the light coming through. It's a cool effect. And I like that it's something really artsy. It feels avant-garde, especially with the theme that we're going with this song. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, oh, they're gonna look really good. And then I was like, oh, they're probably gonna look like artsy. They're gonna look more in the fashion realm, high fashion realm, because it's gonna fit with this. And I'm a huge fashion fan. I know that the fashion industry is not great. I understand that better than most people. But as an art fan, going into fashion shows, oh, I love it. I love watching them so much because I want to see what people are creating, and I think it's so cool. However, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I know Momo's coming. For personal reasons, I'm gonna start over. I'm sure you understand. The stained glass in the setting is so cool. Doing a little posing into it as well, like, you're not look at me. No. What are we doing? This look, you look great. I need you to not look at me at all. The choreo already coming in. I was like, I don't know how much of the posing they're doing is actually in the choreo. Then we got some actual choreo. It's great. Love it. I got blindsided by whatever was going on there. Look, y'all asked for this many times and for other Misumo things, okay? I cannot be held responsible for any of my behavior in this video because I'm sure y'all were worse, okay? I'm aware that there's a camera on me right now, so I'm sure you in the privacy of your own homes understand because Jesus Christ. Love the playing of light. Ooh, love the hands reaching out. Ooh, I love that watch me, and then the touch me. Like, I love a good hand detail in choreo anyway, but it's very close up. It's the kind of choreo that translates best through filmed as opposed to a live performance, which I think adds even a extra layer to this, because the whole point is, oh, you can only watch me, like there's a distance between us, this isn't like us face to face, that's not the kind of interaction you're gonna have with me. So having choreo that is very close up and has these smaller movements that, you know, on a stage, obviously they're probably going to put a little bit more emphasis or like energy into those movements because they want it to translate for stage, but it's supposed to be best viewed through a screen, through film, through watching like a music video or performance video, or like the giant screens at a concert, as opposed to seeing it in person, right? Which I think just like, again, adds to like the concept that we're going for. Momo. No. I don't need any of y'all body rolling. I'm sorry, I have to go back for Momo. What is this choreo? Ooh, cool framing. I'm sorry, I like my brain fully turned off. I don't have anything registering on my face or in my brain at all, besides just distracted by Momo existing. Sana, I need you to not be all up in my face right now, just like, for personal reasons. I love how we're playing with lighting in this, because the spotlight and specific lighting for artwork is a huge thing. I love the way we're playing with color and textures. Love that we're leaning in again into the fashion side of it. Love all of the kind of still frames of them where they're like holding a pose and being very like statuesque in them, and then that contrasting a lot with the choreo that we're doing for the chorus, right? I had other thoughts about the choreo, but I feel like I'm not here enough to really... We can watch dance practice if we have to. That's something we need to do. I was gonna say something about the... Because I talked about the close-off movements that we were having before. There are some great silhouettes in other parts of it, of them having these really elongated movements, very open movements that have great silhouettes and negative space in between different parts of it. It's a little bit tricky with the camera movements, but I really like that they have them with the darker clothing and this white backdrop, which makes it really easy to see those silhouettes and like the kinds of shapes that they're trying to make throughout the choreo. I don't think I've breathed properly at any point while still watching this music video. I forgot, because it's a Japanese music video, it's gonna hit in an entirely different way. I don't know what happens when we get involved with Japanese music videos, but they're just again, as an art lover, the visual storytelling of the Japanese music videos are just different. Like it's beautiful. Anyway, you were saying, Momo. So we're like having the painting in the background. Sana, please. Momo's like too cheeky in this. Look, the other members, some is just out here being gorgeous. Mina always has this ethereal, otherworldly vibe to her. Maybe that's just my bias coming through, but she has that vibe. Momo's got a twinkle in her eye that's just coming for me, right? I know she's gorgeous. She knows she's gorgeous. I can see that she's owning this choreo. She knows that she's owning this choreo. And there's this little twinkle in her eye, and I'm just like, I need you to step... If this wasn't your birthday, I'd be way more upset with you right now. I'd be picking a fight. But it's your birthday, so I guess we have to be lenient in some way. I think the like gold outfits, though, expensive looking. Almost this like Garden of Eden feeling. This outfit, though, it's giving like Secret Garden. Oh, I need them all come for me like that simultaneously. I do like the little hip shake on the instrumentation. No, again, I need you to not all come for me simultaneously. I feel like I don't need a reason to rewind as much as I am. See, we won't need any more reason. They agree with me. It's fine. We're just, for science, we're gonna watch this part again. A little bit like Say. Why? And at the end, there's like the over the shoulder. I like that. I also like that it's like them on the lower levels with the other dancers, higher level extended arm movements over their head too. I am not good. I knew I wasn't gonna be. I knew this was good. I knew this was gonna be. It's gonna be one of those wrecker moments. I need several moments to collect my thoughts into something that is not just incoherent sounds. I honestly don't have anything except that's all I got, because I don't know what they expect me to do with this, right? I know that I am never going to come into contact with them. I get it. I don't live in Korea. I don't even live close. I live so far away. There is a 13-hour time difference between Korea and me. I get it. I understand. I also get that I am but a random person on the internet watching their stuff and probably making a fool of myself. I get it. I understand. I don't need you to make a whole song talking about that experience and then making it more difficult for me, because I went into this being like, yeah, like Mina, bias, already a problem. Sana, I entered a Sana phase and I never got out. I don't know what to do with her, honestly. I'm a little bit terrified of what I feel like I subconsciously know what I should be doing, and I'm just in denial at this point. And then Momo is just continuing to be an issue. The more that I learn about her, the more that I listen to Twice music, the more that she stands out to me, and I just want to be left alone. It's her birthday though, so I have to give her that. I feel like there are so many good things in this as well. I love the art concept as somebody who loves art and spent a lot of time just wandering around art galleries. I love bringing that in. I love that for the Japanese music video too, because they are more on the abstract artsy side and a lot of the representation of the songs. It doesn't tend to lean as much into storytelling. I feel like the fashion is very different. There's a more refined feeling to the fashion in Japanese music videos, which I think also lends into this idea of museums and artwork. From the choreo that I did see and register, I think that there are a lot of cool things there, especially with the way that they're going to be using tableaus and silhouettes and stuff like that, because I feel like it fits really well into the concept. Again, being an art, like a tableau is like a still frame, right? It's basically creating a picture with a story in and of it. And as someone who's performed tableau, I find that really fascinating to bring into this, especially for something that is digging into artwork and visuals, to have that incorporated into the choreo. Obviously, I probably have to see some more of it. If I have to check out like dance practice or like performance or whatever, I just, hey, sacrifices to be made. Just leave me what you want to see down the comments, okay? Just let me know and I'll see if I can make it work, right? But some great uses of silhouettes in it, and interesting in the kinds of clothing that they were using for those moments, having the more close fitting outfits but with the wide brim hats, right? So adding a really interesting silhouette to that with the white background, and then they have the darker clothing forward. So very interesting to have that silhouette in that moment. Other parts of the veils and the skirts, I thought it was really interesting at the end where they had the like white outfits, but then they had all these black accessories that were more modernized, the fingerless gloves or the choker or the like corset belting, like all of these more modern pieces of accessorizing, more alternative leaning, and having the black in stark contrast to the white that was more traditionally feminine feminine and softer in terms of the silhouettes and the detailing on it, the frills and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really cool concept too for the visual, especially like at the end where it's like mixing the traditional with the modern, like I was saying with the music, where I'm like some of the instrumentation feels leaning more into that orchestral classical feeling, and then you get into the chorus and it has a lot of electronic synth sounds layered on it, leaning a lot more into a more modern sounding song. So mixing those two things together is really interesting to me. Like this very much is like a pop song, and yet there are like certain classical things mixed into it. Someone who probably knows more about music theory and all of that may be able to bring in some more insight into that. I'll be interested to go and watch some other people's reactions, because I know there are some reactors out there that have more of a music production background, so I'll be interested to see what they're talking about. But that's me trying to have coherent technical thoughts about it. Other than that, I don't know why we were getting up into each other's personal space. I don't know why they had to look like that. I don't know why Momo had to have the bangs but then slightly wet. I don't know why that had to be a thing. I don't know why we needed a close-up on Mina's back. I don't understand why you had to put that in my life. And Momo rapping is just... why? With a deeper tone. For why though? For why? And I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me, that I had some kind of coherent thought at some point during that. You can click this playlist to go see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a twice reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.